morning. Good morning, everybody, or wherever you're at in your day. Welcome. Gonna go through some good movement today. Hopefully, get our joints ready for whatever else we're doing today. I'm always good to practice mobility regularly, to keep ourselves ready for whatever life might be thrown at us. Never really know what's coming our way. Important that we prepare for the wide array of possibilities as best we can. First things first, if any of these movements cause you pain or too much uncomfortability, definitely modify or stop the exercise. I try to offer regressions and progressions. The goal is to offer help for as many people as possible. Obviously, you may need to use your best judgment on this and stop if it's painful. We'll get started here. Going to do some light breathing from standing position. So super important that we can get our breath going. I like to think about breathing through the belly, through the sides of our rib cage to initiate the breath versus shrugging and dominating with our neck and shoulders. So start just going to be trying to inhale through our rib cage and through our belly. If you want to give yourself some feedback, if this is new for you, you can press your hands into your sides a little bit or even put a hand on your belly and on your low back. If we've done this before, or you feel like this is pretty easy for you, we're just gonna start light hopping or like bouncing on the ground here. So I want to tune into a good inhale through the nose, exhale, kind of settling into our feet, feeling nice and springy as we hop here. So you might shift a little bit side to side. The goal with this is to feel your feet really pressing into the ground, and almost vice versa, like the ground is pressing up into your feet here. Again, just nice, easy breathing, trying to use this area for the most part of our breath. Obviously, your chest and your armpits might expand a little with the inhale. Overall, want to find the belly or lower rib cage here. Got about 30 more seconds here. Just nice, easy hopping, really getting into the lower body, feeling these leg muscles supporting us. We can get really focused, especially if we are very analytical people. It's very dominant in our culture. Nice to kind of bring our awareness back into our body, back in the lower body. Bring that point of focus to the legs and getting us into our body, getting out of our head a little bit. A couple more easy breaths, just nice, easy, springy hopping. When we think about what makes a healthy movement, one characteristic is fluidity and being almost springy in our movements. Our ligaments and our tendons and the myofascia, or the fascia, is a lot like rubber bands. There's a lot of springiness and a lot of potential energy to take advantage of. Things like this can help you feel that, kind of tune into that way of movement. One more big breath. Maybe a little bit deeper this last one. Exhale. Awesome. You can stay standing. I'm going to go kneeling so you can see me a little bit better here. You can also go kneeling. You can go through a neck car. Do different exercises called cars. It's basically a big joint circle. We can do it with every joint. I'm going through a couple today. We'll start with a neck car. So start by tucking your chin, almost like someone offended you. That's from the side. Yeah, chin tuck, crown of the head might lift a little bit. That's our first starting spot. From here, we're going to scrape the chin down, rolling forward, then across the sternum, across the clavicle with our chin. I'm going to dip the top of the head to the ground, start to arch back as the chin lifts high. Think about looking over your other shoulder. Scraping down, across your chest the other direction. We'll come back to the center when you're on with your rep. Important that we go slow with this. We don't want to rush it. This is different. Cars are meant to be very controlled. So we slow down the tempo so you get almost control with that. If you think about a crayon coming off of your nose, how big of a circle can we draw with that crayon? Tuck the chin. Someone offended us. We're going to roll forward. Go into the other direction. Looking over your shoulder. Once you look all the way, you're going to kind of dip the crown of the head to the ground and slowly start to arch backwards here. Arching back, chin and nose lift to the ceiling. Looking over your other shoulder. Kind of dipping the head to the ground. Scraping chin across the chest here. Back to the center. Looking up. Go a couple more each way. And start chin tucked. Crown of the head almost lifted a little bit. Roll forward. Chin scrapes across the chest, looking over your shoulder as far as you can. Making sure shoulders are relaxed, not shrugging. Dipping the head to the ground, then arching backwards. Chin lifts high, making sure we're not arching back too far, rather lifting your chin up towards the ceiling. Kind of scraping across your chest the other way. Back to the center. I'll just go last rep here. So chin stays tucked, rolling forward, scraping your chin across your chest, dip the crown of the head to the ground, lift the chin and nose to the sky, arching back, looking over your other shoulder, and dipping the crown of the head, scraping your chin across your chest. There we go, back to the center. If you feel like you need a couple more, definitely go on to a couple more. We're gonna move to scapula cars, or now shoulder blade cars. So that's this motion. Now our shoulders make, our shoulder blades rather, roll like this. So we're gonna go through those again. Wanna slow it down though to make this a little bit more controlled. And by doing that, we get more muscles active. I'm gonna make this a little more aggressive with a little bit more muscle engagement by putting my arms out. You can go arms by your side if you'd like. This is gonna get a little bit more shoulder activity. The goal is to not be moving our arms are like this, but rather keep the hand relative to the shoulder pretty steady here. Another thing too, avoiding arching your low back throughout. So especially if you're doing this standing, making sure as we bring the shoulder blades back, we aren't just arching our low back. This area stays steady. It's just a shoulder blade movement. So lightly tense our core, arms out in front. We're gonna start by shrugging our shoulders up. So shoulders come up, and we're gonna pull the shoulders back. Shoulders come down, again, avoiding that low back arch, and then pressing forward. You think about fists or shoulders driving forward, forward, forward. So trying to punch as far as we can forward. From here, you go one more that direction, coming up, slowly coming back, and then lowering. Again, not arching our low back. Torso stays steady, just moving our shoulder blades. We'll come forward, forward, forward. Stay down now. Keep the shoulders down. Come forward as far as we can and pause for a second. From here now, we're going to reverse directions. So really focus now on avoiding that shrug as we pull back. So think about shoulders really come back before they lift. So come back as far as we can and then start to lift. Up, forward, and then down. So we're almost making a square. As you get better at this, it can be almost like a circle. Okay. So again, as we're low, we're at the bottom position, really focusing on not arching the low back and not shrugging as we bring the shoulder blades back as best we can. Then we start to lift, press forward, fists come forward, 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 and then lower here. We're gonna do one more rep the same direction here. So again, we're forward, down, in that position, slowly pulling back, squeezing those shoulder blades back, seeing how far we can come back without shrugging. Let's hold here, take a breath. Nice, easy control, and then we'll slowly start to raise them up. Forward, 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 fists come forward, and then slowly lowering to the ground here. Let those arms relax, shake out a little bit. Awesome. One more. Going to be standing again. If you decide to take a seat from here, just going to take a breath in and reach up, up, up as high as we can. Exhale, kind of reach the arms back, coming down here. See if we can sync your breath up. If not, that's okay, but trying. Big breath in, arms reach up, kind of decompressing the spine a little bit. Exhale, arms reach back, back. Now some kind of reaching back behind me as I come down, trying to really open up the chest, pull those shoulders back. Breath in, reach up. Lengthen that spine, hands reach high. Exhaling, reaching back behind us, making a big circle with our hands here. One more here. Maybe deepen the breath a little bit. There we go. Slowly kind of squeezing those arms back, getting the arms active today. There we go. Shake it out a little bit. I'm going to get into the lower body a little bit more now. I'm going to come into some squats. If this is, if you're a little tight today or squatting isn't the best for you, that's all right. I challenge you to work on it. Just do the squat range of motion that you have control over. So you don't have to get our hips or legs all the way to parallel. Big thing is you're controlling and owning the movement that you do have. So we go, feet about shoulder width apart. As we come down, you're gonna press into your heels. Want to really find the glute muscles active here. Coming down, standing up, into the heels. I like arms forward if we're doing body weight. Gives you a little bit of that counterbalance to sit back into your heels. The goal is to not have the heels come off the ground. Press into the heels, maybe getting 70, 80% of that power through the heels. Really squeezing the glutes if you can. That's the goal, is to get into the glutes with this. Usually the heels connect to the glutes. You can also focus there. As we come down, making sure that we're not rounding here. But think about, chest up, shoulders sink back, hips sink back as well. Got a couple more here. Find your range of motion that feels comfortable. If you'd like to get a little bit lower, awesome, coming through it. Maybe bringing some awareness even to your belly. At the bottom of the squat, can you pull your belly away from your waistband or kind of tighten this area? Try it, challenge yourself on that. Keep breathing, here we go. If you'd like to get a little bit more hip mobility, I'm gonna go a little bit wider with this now. As we squat, another option we do is press the elbows to the insides of the knees and rock a little bit, kind of prying the hips open. Called a pry squat. Couple rocks back and forth, standing up the same way. Gonna be here for about another minute, guys. Take your time with this, take breaks as you need. Get what we out of it, get what you want out of it here. If you have a kettlebell, this is an option to grab a kettlebell, get some more squats going, kind of prying open, opening those hips up. Remember to press through the heels here. Rock, really open those hips up, maybe using the elbows to press the knees wide. Standing up through the heels, kind of feeling that core helping here. There we go, good work. To get more comfortable, really tune into the breath, make sure that we're keeping the breath rolling. Again, not using our neck to breathe too much, rather breathing through the belly, through that rib cage. Finding your tempo here. As you get comfortable, as those hips start to loosen up a little bit, you can either get lower or we can work on going a little bit faster. You just got about 20 seconds, maybe repping some squats out here. If you want to stay at your tempo, that's awesome. I want to get a little burn this morning, so I'm going to go a little faster here. Go 10 more seconds. There we go. Good work, you guys. Here we go. Rest, shake it out a second. I like to switch tempos. Again, you got to see what you're going for. What's your goal with this workout? Adjusting as needed. Gonna go 25 jumping jacks here, okay? If jumping jacks are bothersome, come back to some light hopping, even just maybe raising the arms and hopping here. And the feet don't even have to come off the ground. Otherwise, go on jumping jacks. Here we go. Good work. Get it going, get a little bit of heart rate up here. That's not what you're going for. You can do some light hopping, some light reaching. A couple more here. One thing that's kind of cool with this whole stay-at-home thing. Wow, I do not smell best. Didn't put on my deodorant this morning. It don't matter. It's kind of cool. One positive. There we go. Maybe TMI. Sorry there. Couldn't help it. Alrighty, maybe a good time to grab a drink. Gonna transition into a little bit more core. Gonna get on the ground now. If you need a pad, that always helps out. Otherwise, going to work our way onto our belly. Gonna start talking about a plank. Super important. We can do all different core exercises. Really important that we know how to get that area active. So we're gonna start out by a kneeling plank or 8-point plank. From here, the knees stay on the ground. Choosing your elbow position that works for you. Further out, it's gonna be more challenging. Closer to your body, gonna be a little bit easier. Gonna start maybe right under the shoulders, maybe an inch or two forward. We'll adjust as we go here. So knees stay on the ground. First, we're gonna slowly pick your belly button off the ground. Hips stay down to the ground. That first motion is super important. That kind of drive our sternum towards our belly button or drive the belly button towards our spine. From here now, slowly gonna pick the hips off the ground. Hips are gonna come up maybe 4 to 6 inches from the ground, and that's where we're staying here. Okay, we're just gonna work on holding this posture and breathing, trying to stay out of our neck, rather get into, our belly, our rib cage here as we breathe. Got about 30 seconds here. You're gonna take breaks as you need. If you wanna make this a little more challenging, you can move the elbows out a little bit in front of you. Big thing is that low back is not sagging, you're not overarching, but also you're not too up in the air. You wanna find that position that works for you where you really feel the deep core muscles working. You think about the muscles right around your waistband, right around the belly button, really trying to tune in here. Super critical that we can keep the core working and breathe at the same time. If the only time we have core strength is when we're holding down and bearing down, that's not very healthy for us. We got to be able to use the core for whatever we're doing, most of the time, hopefully breathing. We'll take one more big breath in here. Letting it out, controlling down. Gonna come up to one more set of that. I'm gonna progress through different planks for the rest of the session. Really important that we get those simple mechanics down. This is a good exercise regardless of your level. Again, if you wanna make it a little more challenging, move the elbows forward. Either way, great to just feel these muscles, putting your mind's eye to the core. Again, slowly picking up off the ground. How we come into this is super important. Pressing up, hips come off the ground, maybe 4 to 6 inches here. Again, not overdoing it with a hip raise, just lightly off the ground, really feeling that core working. This is easy for you. I challenge you to lift the hips and find that posture that's 4 to 6 inches. A lot of times people like to come up even maybe 8 inches, 10 inches. That makes a big difference than just hovering over the ground here. Really tuning into that low back posture, making sure we're not overarching or sagging our hips here. About 15 more seconds here, a couple more good breaths. This is bothering the low back, just let's go short reps with this. So maybe coming up, holding for a second or two, maybe 5 seconds, and then letting it down. We'll take one more breath and controlling down to the ground here. Awesome, there we go. Okay, gonna work through a little bit of a series here. I'm gonna come to our hands and knees now. If this is bothersome, obviously you can go back to an exercise that works for you. Ultimately want to get the core working from different postures now and get some motion going with our core activity. So we're gonna tuck the toes under and press into the toes a little bit. Spread the fingers wide, hands under the shoulders here. Kind of got a good base here. Feet are engaged with the ground. From here, check in with your low back posture, making sure it's not overarching or not, rounding to the sky. Finding that pretty neutral arch here. Gonna press the feet into the ground a little bit more and lift the knees. So knees are lifted just a couple inches from the ground. From here, just wanna breathe a little bit and find this home base. This might be where we stay for the duration of this set. If we can, we're gonna start to lift opposite arm leg and work on some crawling patterns. So it's gonna lift an arm and a leg and slowly crawl forward here. Obviously, I don't have a whole lot of space on my mat. I'm just gonna go a couple steps forward, a couple steps coming back. The goal here is the knees stay close to the ground, low back, core stays active, under control through each movement here. Now crawling back and forth. Again, we're going for time, not reps on this. Keeping control. The core. If you need, you can go arms a little bit wider, hands a little bit wider. See, we can control that motion. It's not a fast get to, if we go fast, we're missing out on a lot of the potential we have with this. Got about 10 more seconds. There we go, good work, you guys. Last rep here for me, kind of coming forward. And relax down to the ground there. Awesome. From here, gonna raise our arm back behind us, kind of by your hip. So arm raised back, thumb is gonna point up, and see if you can even rotate it up to the sky here. From here, you're gonna imagine that our opposite side is pressed against a wall. So as we go through this exercise, I don't want you leaning at all side to side. It shouldn't be arching this way. Whole body is acting like we're stuck in cement. From here, gonna slowly keep this arm as high off the ground as we can. as we start to raise up overhead. Keeping the elbow straight, the arm's gonna get all the way up overhead. Once we get here, we're gonna bend the elbow, hover the hand over your head. For a 3 count, control through there, then we're gonna straighten the arm out, hand stays high, slowly coming back to our starting position. As we go, the thumb is gonna rotate down towards the ground, almost like we're dumping out a can of pop here. There we go. Once we're back to the top, or to the bottom actually, down by your hip, gonna bend the elbow and hover over your low back. Good 3 count here. Straighten the arm out and relax down to the ground here. Gonna go to the other side here. Again, coming down by our side, thumb is gonna rotate out and maybe even up towards the ceiling here. Your elbow should be pointing away from you. From here, or the pit of the elbow, I should say. Again, arm stays off the ground, slowly raising overhead. If we go fast, it's gonna be a lot easier. Challenge yourself. Can we go slow? Slow, keep that elbow straight. Try to fight a shrug as best you can. You might shrug a little, but try not to have that shoulder up in the ear. At the top, we're gonna bend the elbow, hover over your head. 3, 2, 1. We'll straighten that arm out. Hand stays high off the ground. Slowly coming back. Again, as we're moving, start to rotate that thumb towards the ground. Thumb towards the ground. Finding the starting position. We're gonna bend the elbow, hover over your low back here. 3, 2, 1. Straighten out, relax out of it. I'm gonna come one more each side. Challenge yourself to have a little bit better control on this rep. Really paying attention to, if we're shrugging, if we're letting the shoulder kind of fall forward, want to really keep the shoulder back and the front of the shoulder away from the ground. So arm at your hip, again, thumb pointed up, forearm is pointed, or the front of the forearm, front of the elbow pit is pointed away from you. Slowly coming through, this is a version of a shoulder car here. Hand stays off the ground. Here we go. Slowly coming up. You'll be feeling that core working, feeling that body staying steady. Gonna bend the elbow, hover over your head. 3, 2, 1. We'll straighten that arm out. Good work. Keep that hand high off the ground. Elbow stays straight. Again, as we're coming down, thumb starts to rotate down towards the ground. Coming down towards our hip. We're gonna hover over the hip here. Super important that the shoulder doesn't fall forward here. Keep the front of the shoulder off the ground as far as we can here. Straighten out, relax down to the ground here. Come other side. Again, arm by your side. Thumb is rotated out and maybe towards the ceiling here. Again, tune into that core. Belly stays tight. We're keeping breathing, but slowly controlling this shoulder now. How high can we get the hand off the ground before we start to move our whole body? Owning this shoulder movement, getting a lot of strength here now. Once we're at the top, we're gonna bend the elbow and hover. 3, 2, 1. Straighten out. Hand stays high off the ground. Rotating, and that thumb will start to rotate down towards the ground as far as we can. Coming down by the side and bending and hovering. Keeping the shoulder, the front of the shoulder, from collapsing forward. Straighten out and relax out of it here. If that's bothersome in the shoulders, obviously you got to find the range of motion that works for you. We're going to come through that set once more. The last 3 we just did. First, we're going to take a little break with some segmentation. So thinking about now getting the whole spine moving on our hands and knees. Obviously, we can arch down this way and we can arch up this way. We want to get more specific with our control than just going through one position and then the other. So we're going to start by dipping our belly to the ground. Finding that good arch through our back. Really want to make sure through this that we don't overarch the low back, but rather get the whole spine to move, especially this mid back and upper back. So from this position, we're not maxed out per se. We're going to start to go to the other position now. So we're slowly going to tip the tailbone towards your nose, drive the belly button up towards the ceiling. Sucking belly button up to the ceiling. Maybe sternum starts to push up to the ceiling. Mid back up to the ceiling. Should be about 10 to 15 second reps or seconds per rep here. Really driving up. Chest starts to drive, almost like collapsing towards your tailbone. Neck gets involved.
Chin and nose towards your tailbone. From here, let the head relax, let the neck relax a little bit. Gonna go the other direction. Again, starting with our tailbone. Tailbone tips back to the ceiling, belly button towards the ground. Starting to open up that abdomen, starting to get some arch in our low back. Mid-back starts to move a little bit as well. Once you get to the mid-back, think as though we have a light shining off your sternum, off the chest. You're gonna try to raise that light up the wall in front of you. Trying to get that upper back to move a little bit. Finishing out that rep, again, not arching the low back too much, but finding that motion through that mid-back and upper back. Chin kind of tucks to finish. Relax the head again. Come a couple more reps here. Again, tailbone tucks towards the nose, belly button sucks to the ceiling now. Really take your time with this. Zoom into your spine, trying to get each 24 vertebrae to move individually here. Again, sternum up to the sky, really starting to hollow out. Arching up to the ceiling as best you can with that mid-back. Nose and tailbone kind of arching towards each other here. Good. From here, we'll let the head relax again. Tailbone tips up towards the sky. Tipping back, belly button to the ground. Keep breathing here. If you had a laser shining off your chest, can we start to climb it up the ground and even up the wall in front of you? Keeping your whole body from rocking back and forth, just getting the spine to arch forward and backwards. And really getting that upper back involved, thinking about that light off your chest. Hopefully you can feel a couple muscles in your upper back starting to work. If not, really slow it down and zoom in there. Let that low back stay calm as we get into the upper back. Nice. Relax out of that. Just do any movements that feel nice. Sometimes it feels good to shake it out after that. You get a little bit less specific, maybe even just doing a little bit of light arching through there. Alrighty, gonna come back to our plank and grab a drink if you need or take a break if you need. Otherwise, gonna come into our plank now. From here, we talked about the 8-point plank, slowly kind of coming up, really tuning into that posture. That's great if we wanna stay here. If we want something different, I'm gonna go to a high plank. So from here, out the knees obviously come off the ground, gonna be on our hands. If this bothers your wrist, you can come to the elbows. Otherwise, just tuning in right away to this posture. Again, keeping that low back from overarching. Also don't want to be up to the sky too much. Finding that good neutral position. Belly is engaged here. We're gonna rock or move a little bit now. Gonna come to our elbows. Gonna try to keep that same posture now on our elbows. From here, gonna work on a couple butt kicks. Heel to your butt. Torso does not move throughout here. And it's more challenging as we add movement, as we take our limbs away from the ground. Makes it a little bit more of a challenge on our core here. You get one more here, then we're gonna come up back to that high plank. Got about 15, 20 seconds here. We're gonna work with our knee bend. Keep breathing, guys, keep breathing. Again, if we're at our 8-point plank, that's awesome. Shoulders away from the ears now. Keep your shoulders down, controlling. Do one more kick here. Good, we'll control down to the ground here. Gonna come to our crawling now. So from here, again, hands wide. If you wanna go knuckles, you can. I'm gonna switch it up this set. This is a little bit more tolerable for me. Again, widen your hands. If you need to, widen your base of support. So hands a little bit wider, can make it a little bit easier. Knees a little bit wider, feet a little bit wider, can help out. Again, tuck the toes under, press into the toes. Maybe where we're at today is just lifting the knees and holding. This can be extremely challenging on its own. If we want to progress, gonna crawl, alternate arm leg. Super important, your knees stay close to the ground, low back, hips under control here. How slow can we go? How slow can you lift? And then softly set that leg and foot or leg and hand down to the ground here. Keep breathing. Maybe getting a little bit tighter now, doing a lot of core work today. Good work and controlling the motion here. Not too big of steps, just controlling each step here. About 15 seconds. Again, can we keep our limbs moving forward in a pretty straight line here? Coming back to my neutral spot. Relax down to the ground. Gonna come through our shoulder car. Again, with this, really important that we don't hurt the shoulder. If the bending the elbows and the last parts are too much, just keep our arm up and work on, maybe controlling through here. Finding the motion that works for you before we get pain. Don't need to go through pain. Again, arm down by your side, thumb rotated up towards the ceiling. From here, slowly coming through our shoulder car. Hand is high off the ground without rotating. Your chest should be parallel to the ground here. Arm reaches up overhead. You're gonna bend the elbow, hover over the back of your head. Good, for about a 3 count. Straighten the arm out, hand stays high, thumb starts to rotate down towards the ground. Keeps going as far as we can rotate the arm in that direction now. Down by our hip, gonna bend the elbow, hand hovers over your back. Good, we'll straighten the arm out, relax to the ground there. To the other side, again, hands and knees, body stays steady now. All the stuff that we've worked on, applying it to this now. Breathing, keeping our core and torso active. Arm by your side, thumb is up to the ceiling. Slowly coming up through our shoulder car here. Hand is high off the ground, again, chest stays parallel to the ground. Slowly reaching up above head. Once we get up overhead, you're gonna bend the elbow, hover over the back of your head. About a 3 count here. We'll straighten the arm out. Sort of rotate that thumb now towards the ground. Hand as high off the ground as we can without the chest moving. Keeping the elbow straight till we get down by our side. Then we'll bend the elbow to hover over your low back. Back of the hand is hovering over your low back here. And shoulder is away from the ground. We'll straighten the arm out and relax down. One more each side. Again, core is tight, ready to go. Arm reaching up, you're gonna reach the thumb to the sky, come through the rep here, thumb stays pointed up to the sky. Give yourself a little bit of tension as we move now. This shoulder should be very active. Getting up above, gonna bend the elbow, hover over the back of your head, 3, 2, 1, we'll straighten out. As we're going now, again, thumb starts to rotate towards the ground. Arm stays pretty straight. Coming down towards our hip. Gonna bend the elbow, keep the shoulder back now. Keep the shoulder away from the ground. Nice. Straighten out, relax down. Gonna come one more rep, opposite side here. Hand by your side, gonna rotate back. Okay, thumb, is rotated out away from you. From here, slowly coming through again, going slow to get more muscles going in the shoulder. As we move slow, we're asking our body to control this a lot better. It's going to get more muscle activity here. Bend the elbow at the top, again, keeping the shoulder from shrugging too much. Body's steady. Let's straighten the arm out. Hand stays high as we come away down to the starting position. Rotating that thumb under. You're going to bend once we get all the way down. Elbow bends. Back of the hands hovering over the shoulder. Getting her over the low back and keeping the shoulder away from the ground. We'll straighten the arm out, relax down. There we go. Good work. Well, that's what we're doing for movement today. If you'd like to carry on, you're ready to maybe do a workout or go on a run or who knows what it may be. If you want to keep going with the physical part, definitely. We're going to spend a little more time just talking about mindset, maybe a little bit of a mindfulness practice or meditative exercise here. Super important that obviously we train our muscles. Our brain is a muscle as well. It changes through our whole life and can get stronger in different areas, and we can essentially rewire, as far as we understand it, how our brain works, just by practicing some simple exercises. So I'm gonna lie on my back here. You can sit school style, sit on a cushion, find a posture that works for you. If you're lying on your back, probably bend the knees or put a pad under your knees. Take some pressure off the low back. Just gonna settle in, bring some awareness to your breath. Let's try to breathe in through the nose, out through your nose or mouth here. Not trying to guide or control your breath too much, but watching it more so. Just bringing awareness to how we're breathing. Heart rate might be up a little bit. You might be breathing a little bit faster from the movement. Perhaps watching your breath slow down a little bit as we settle in here. So bringing awareness to our breath is something we can do day to day. And optimal breathing is using, our belly, our low back, the sides of our rib cage here, not shrugging the shoulders and tensing our neck, but rather keeping the neck pretty relaxed if we can. So tuning more into that optimal breathing now. Thinking about belly expanding a little bit, maybe the rib cage expanding a little bit. If you need some feedback, you can press into your rib cage. Perhaps just seeing if we can focus on that area through our inhale. And as we exhale, just letting the air go, letting our body relax. As we go here, settle into a little bit longer exhale. The exhalation phase of our breathing is strongly associated to our resting state, our rest and digest state of our nervous system, and counteracting or the opposite of that fight or flight state. So again, settling into that full exhale to help our body, downregulate, get a little bit more, I don't like to say only relax, a little more clear, a little bit more peaceful, a little more ready to handle whatever might be coming our way. Try to sustain this continuity of breath flow and just watching it, hopefully finding a little bit of natural feel through each breath. This is a technique we can come to day. If we find ourselves stressed or we just want to get a little bit of space from our mental chatter or something we might be thinking about, count our inhale and then exhale for a little bit longer here. So we're settling in a little bit more clear, a little more focused perhaps. Taking some time to appreciate the ability to move and to have a body that can exercise and do fun things and take us to cool places. Help us feel good and challenge ourselves, whatever it may be. As your mind wanders gently, free from any judgment, you can bring it back to your breath. Important to know that is not failure, that's not something bad. It's totally natural for our mind to wander as often as you need, just bringing that attention back to your point of focus here. Maybe noticing the breath continuing to slow down a little bit. As we slow down, that's another sign of a little bit more restful state of being. It's critical that we can navigate through our more stressful ways and these less stressful. And when we find ourselves going through that stress response, that we can bring ourselves back into our body, into the present moment with some clarity rather than with so much mental noise or a rumination or feeling like our mind is agitated. Breath is often the antidote to that. It's a way to recenter, to bring ourselves back to that present moment. Take a couple more moments to fill our lungs fully
Feeling that vital life force coming into our lungs, maybe breathing a little bit deeper these last couple of breaths together. And exhaling, letting all tension go. Inhaling, feeling life come in, breath force coming in, expanding that full rib cage. Exhale, let it all go. Let it relax. Maybe think about more, even letting emotional tension or distress go. Take 2 more breaths together. Breath in, maybe deeper, a little bit deeper, breathing in as much as we can. So we feel the need to expel the air, letting it all go, settling into that relaxation. Last breath. Exhale, letting it go. You're just bringing back your awareness to the natural flow of your breath now. Nothing specific, no control, just rather awareness of it flowing naturally. If you'd like to stay here, definitely can stay here. Maybe turn off the channel and enjoy a little bit of stillness with yourself or wherever you're at right now. I just want to say thanks for tuning in today. Awesome job. Great to take time for yourself. I know these aren't the most glorious movements always. It's super important that we can start to learn ways to take care of our body, to prep our body for movement. Again, you never know what's coming after you or what you're going to be facing in any given day. Super important that we can prepare ourselves for whatever that may be, physically and mentally or psychologically. Hope you enjoyed. Feedback is always appreciated. Yes, take care. You can like, subscribe to my channel. You can share with your friends. Obviously, spreading this can really be beneficial, trying to help people learn again. Hopefully, you have a couple takeaways of different exercises you can either do later today or maybe tomorrow morning or throughout the day. We got a lot of upper body mobility, some lower body, as well as some good core work. Keep breathing. So important that we can at least work on that day to day, if nothing else. Start bringing awareness to your breath, and then how do we breathe optimally, through this area to help all areas of our well-being, as well as for the well-being of those around us. You start to realize that things like this start to trickle into the people that we interact with day to day, our family, our loved ones, but also people we don't know that we see. Just offering a little bit more peace and a little more gratitude towards the world. To not only help us, but helping all those around us. Awesome job. Have a great weekend. Take care. Thanks for joining. Stay awesome, y'all.